Thanks for joining. Today is Saturday, February, March 6th. Um, Welcome to the stock group. Let's start looking by this week at the S&P. So you can see here pretty much sideways for the week. Opened up Monday and Tuesday were up. Well, Monday was up, Tuesday was down, Wednesday was up, and then down Thursday and Friday. So you can see we're just kind of going sideways, but coming off the lows of last week. For the NASDAQ, you can see we're sitting here at support on NASDAQ at the 13,900. So pretty much the same, up Monday and Wednesday, down Thursday. The Russell, which is small caps, pretty much the same, Monday and Wednesday up, down Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. It's still kind of going sideways, but again, up off these lows from February 24th. And then as well for the Dow's pretty much sideways as well. And that 24th was a down day for everybody. So it looks like they recovered there. Let's look at the individual stocks. So you can see Apple here. So I guess this must have been last Thursday. Had a huge down day in the market, but this week actually Apple did better than the overall market. Did flat for the week, but was actually up on Thursday, but then gave it all back Thursday, and then Friday had a gap down actually on Friday. Let's see what else. It's actually an insurer. They got hit pretty hard on yesterday. It's a European insurer, so they could be affected by the stuff that's going on in Ukraine. Let's see. Express, they gap down as well. So I'm not sure if, let me just look at some of the other banks as well. Let's see if this is a trend. Wells Fargo, gap down big. So I guess the banking sector is getting.
Mike, a little later on, I would like to talk about that.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Mel. So Wells Fargo, MS, let's look at JP Morgan, see if that's the same as well. Yep. Okay, so it looks like all this, let's look at Prudential. Yeah. XLF. It's the ETF for the financial sector. Yeah. So, yeah, all the financials took a hit. So that's pretty interesting. We'll come back to that. Let me look at a couple more. Let's look at Amazon. So you see Amazon, like I said, that I guess it was last Thursday, the 24th, was down pretty hard on the news. I think that's when they may have gone into Russia. When it went into Ukraine. But Amazon actually started the week pretty good, but then Thursday and Friday had a huge pullback. So I'm not sure. I don't know if there was any news related to that. Let's see what else. Oh, let's look at this. I don't know what happened to Boeing yesterday, but Boeing got absolutely killed coming out of. So you can see here on this is Tuesday. Tuesday had a down day, kind of had a flat day Wednesday, but Thursday and Friday, Boeing dropped, significantly. So we measure this out, really from, I guess that's Tuesday. Boeing has dropped 11% since Tuesday. I don't know what the pullback was. I noticed it some yesterday. And so when I go out a bit here and just see from a longer term perspective, Boeing sitting on support for sure. So you can see these previous areas of support. Boeing had gotten down to this 180 level and actually broke through it yesterday. See, this goes all the way back to this November 2020. So I'm not sure what the Boeing news was all about, but it was something major that must have caused it to go down as much as it did. I'm not sure what that's about. Does anybody hear anything about the Boeing news? Okay, maybe this is it. Boeing is caught in a bind after the U.S. barred Russian airlines from the skies following an invasion of Ukraine. The move could affect Boeing's main wide-body plant in Washington, where the giant, Antonov and cargo planes are used to fly structures from other plants. Oh, so Boeing, I guess they get parts from, around the world, and they got some Russian planes that helps them with that. So it looks like that makes affect their supply lines. Okay. Boeing needs this equipment and components. The reality of it is that we're all codependent on each other's planes. Okay. So, all right, that makes sense there. But I didn't know what was going on. All I know was Boeing was hit pretty hard. So that makes sense. Let's see. Actually, I bought a little bit yesterday. I may have mentioned it. I don't know if I did or not. Let's see what else. Let's look at Big Lots, discount retailer. So this is interesting. Okay. Big Lots had earnings on March 3rd. And you can see here, this is that 24th right there, support at 32. Earnings must have been good. Let's see. Yeah. They had earnings surprise. It was expecting. They reported 175. And so they actually, I guess they didn't have a surprise, but they did well and the market received it pretty well. So Boeing was actually up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I'm not Boeing, I'm sorry. Big Lots. So that's a good sign. Let's look at Dollar Tree to see, did they go up as well? Yeah, so you see here, Dollar Tree. Actually, Dollar Tree has been in an uptrend for the last, the last few, January 24th. Actually, this was a low, not January 24th. Dollar Tree has been going up. Let me look at Dollar General. These are all discount retailers. You can see since February 24th, not that January 24th in that last chart, but I was looking for this low of February 24th. But these retailers in the dollar or discount retailers, they're all doing really well. I don't know what the news is on that, but so this is up 14% on Dollar General. Let's look at Five Below. Retailers in the discount space. Actually, they're going the opposite way. So those first three big lots, Dollar Tree and Dollar General, they all were doing well. Whereas you can see here, Five Below is actually going the other way. So if you look at this, so I'm not sure what's going on with Five Below, because they're back down toward these February 24th lows, whereas the others in their same categories or the competitors are doing much better. So don't know what that's about. Let's see. Let's look at Ford. No, it's automaker. So you can see here, Ford is stuck in basically in this range, going sideways. And again, this is at February 24th. And let's see, context-wise. So Ford is back to this range area that it had touched back in from October to November. It broke up to these highs, couldn't sustain it, and then broke below support at 19. Now we're down here at the 1680 level. So it's Ford. Yeah. GM is in a huge downtrend here. So you can see this. GM is getting killed. GM did it's been a while ago, but GM did like a crazy split. What was the ratio? But because it wasn't anywhere near $60. I think they may have did a 10-for-1 reverse split. But anyway, GM has pulled back. It's pretty significant pullback too since January 5th. You can see here, GM is down. Oh wow, GM's down 35%. That's huge. In contrast to what we looked at there in terms of Ford, right? Take it back. Ford is down as well. See. Okay, they're both down about 30-something%. I didn't think Ford was down that much. But yeah, so automakers getting hit. Let's see. Let's look at Google. So Google coming off the lows of, because really this February 24th, this should be a line in the sand for most every company, because that was a huge pullback because of that Russia news, Ukraine. Google kind of recovered, but you can see here down Thursday and Friday, just following the trend of the broader averages and indexes. So let's look at a couple of the smaller names. This is Robinhood. So you can see Robinhood here. Got this support. Hit the support going back to January 28th. Hit it again February 24th. And Robinhood is still getting beat up. So tried to break above, got a little bit of this confirmation here, but you could see that this uptrend couldn't hold, and then it broke it again. And now this downtrend has continued. So if you extend this line up, you can see it couldn't hold there, and then that downtrend ensued. So, and in context, you got to remember, this is Robinhood was $30-something back in October, and shucks, it was even higher than that back not too long after IPO. Let's see what the high is on this IPO. It was high as $85. Now it's 10, almost 11. So Robinhood getting killed. Let's look at IBM. It's pretty interesting. I remember when we saw this IBM around this 114 area here. We got low back here on this 118 level, which corresponded to this huge area here. I'm gonna just extend this over so you can see it touched that support area that had some previous reference back from October of last year. You can see we got close here down at the I guess it's the February 24th, but I mean it has a nice bounce off of that move, and so you can see up what's that, $8? Yeah, so it's up maybe 4% or something. Yeah, so IBM has bounced fine there. Just a breakout, better breakout to buck the trend recently. This Jumia, this e-commerce company out of Africa, they just really been in this range here. kind of a wide range, but still a range from, so in this range. Look at a couple more and we're going to get into some questions. Let's look at MasterCard. So this is interesting. I'll go back. You can see here. When we were earlier in the year, MasterCard and Visa, they were in this little downtrend. Then it accelerated down. And then they broke that downtrend from like January. So from January to February, MasterCard had a nice run off of these 330s up to almost 400. But look at since then, since February 2nd, MasterCard has started a downtrend again. And it's just been getting killed. So this first part was a downtrend, and then the downtrend had even accelerated in the last week. So you can see MasterCard here is almost back to some of these lows from before. Now we still got a ways to go before we get back to these November lows. Yeah, sorry about that. To these November lows, but it's definitely close. So interesting. If you look at the support here, this 330 level, this is definitely a level where MasterCard has shown some area of support. Just going back, all the way. Actually, this is a huge area of support right here, and so that the MasterCard at this 330 level, 330 and 323, huge levels. Let's look at Visa as well. And so they had, Visa followed the same pattern that MasterCard did. So they had bucked the trend against some of what some of the other payment companies were doing, and they broke out. But you can see they started this downtrend down. So, and again, it accelerated. So MasterCard and Visa got hit. The last one we look at here is Zoom. So you can see Zoom came out actually with earnings on the, what's that? It came out with earnings on the January, February. Yeah, they had good earnings. Got a couple good days up. Well, just one good day up off earnings, and then continue to follow this downtrend. So if you look here, Zoom has been in a really long downtrend. I mean, from some high levels. But if you go back here, Zoom has been in this downtrend since, what was that? Since August of this past year. So they were high as $400. Zoom is a $100 stock now. So that's just a run through of some of those. Let's go back to, Milt, you had brought up a question earlier you wanted to go back to as it related to the banks and financials. The floor is yours.
Okay, just a month ago, financials was the place to be. Two things is stopping this now. And now you have to be very cautious of financials. The first thing is the feds are not going to be as aggressive as people once thought. I don't know if y'all remember, Barry and I was having a conversation on how big the first rate was going to be. Was it going to be 50 or 25? Now it's 100% going to be 25. There's no doubt in anyone's mind. The second one is all these sanctions we're putting on Russia. This is an unknown event, how it's going to affect banks. The banks, like Wells Fargo, I don't see them having any exposure in Russia, so it shouldn't matter to them. But somebody's going to blow up over all these sanctions. Some American investment firm is going to blow up. And I don't know how it's going to affect financials in general, because they seem to be interlinked in some weird way. It's just like the financial crisis. They all tend to do something dumb together, and us will pay the price for it. So now
Yes,
you have to
sir.
be very cautious on them. I still own Wells Fargo, and I'm not planning on selling mine, but I'm not buying anymore either.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even think so much about that, but I did hear. I guess um, um, Timothy Powell. I guess he speak this past week. Market had a little jitters, but you would think though that that would have bode well for the market with saying that hey, we're not gonna raise the rates 50 basis points, and actually tone down a little bit on the hawkish stance. So, but I think that this Ukraine Russia news is just really just putting the market um, in a manner that this is just bunch of uncertainty and not really knowing where to go. So it's just a risk off. Um, and then, but the banks are usually they benefit in a risk off environment. But with these sanctions and stuff, and it's affecting the financial sector, that's not even a safe place to stay. I don't follow bonds, but let me see what the bond. So the 10-year yield, right? So you can see the 10-year yield is coming down. Let's look at the 2-year. So typically there's a correlation between stocks and bonds. So usually when stocks are rising, bonds are retreating, and vice versa. So if I were to look at a chart for, and I'll pull it up in a second, but I'll look for a chart for the like the S&P. So let's just look at the SPY real quick. So you can see here that this has been actually retreating since January, whereas that bond, U.S. Treasury on the 10-year, and that's a kind of a medium range on the bonds, whereas if I go to the 2-year, sorry, to the 2-year, see the 2-year government bond. So this is the shorter, so it's kind of short-term interest rates. So you can see here, remember so back in November, we were at a high in the stock market, but when it's this news of the interest rates are going to go up, so this is affecting the short-term bonds here. And you can see that this is, they started this accelerated move up, and then it even got more aggressive, and now it's tapering off. So even the bond market is going sideways since February. So it looks like stock market, bond market, they both are in a kind of in a holding pattern. But typically they would operate in opposition to one another, where if the stock market is up, bonds will be down, and vice versa. So this is interesting. And it could be too with all the uncertainty that Milt just spoke about, and they're not expecting a higher interest rate raise, then that could put a damper on the bonds as well, because it's usually a safe place where when you take the risk off on trades, where they're not buying stocks, they usually run the bonds. That's just kind of how the money rotates. So, but again, like I say, I don't trade bonds. I know there are people that do. I don't. But if anybody has any experience with it, about bonds, they can jump in and add some commentary there, because I really don't know, other than just the general stuff that I explained. Okay, all right. Guess we don't have any bond people. So thanks for that, Milt. Any other questions, comments?
This is also a good time to be in energy and to be in a commodity like wheat. uh, this is one of those. I don't know how to properly frame this because this is a built-in tragedy. But Ukraine exports and Russia exports tend to be along that line.
Yeah, here's this SM. I think Milt, you had told us about this company here. So it's an energy company. Let's look at Duke Energy. See here. So look at this. So you go back to February 24th, and this was the date they went into Russia. Energy has gone up tremendously in Duke Energy. So you're talking it's about a 6% move. And energy stocks usually don't move that aggressively in a short period of time because they're more stable. Utilities are more stable types of companies, don't have a lot of growth, but you can see this is a huge move up. So that definitely could be an area that has benefited from this, unfortunately, from this crisis. Let's see what else. What is it? PP&G. What is that? What's the one out in California? P&G. Used to know it. I can't remember the company name, but it was this like a big California. Yeah.
Oh, take a look at BTU also.
Okay, yes, the ETF. Right? Oh, and that's Peabody. Yeah. Yeah, so you can see energy is definitely picked up for sure. So you got another oil and gas. Let's see. Exxon, Royal Dutch, Chevron, and BP, PetroChina, Schlumberger, Conoco. So yeah, these are more of the oil and gas. I thought it was going to be some more utilities, but let's look at some of these. Let's look at Conoco, Phillips, PetroChina, and BP. Yeah, so this is where the money is, definitely where a rotation of the money is going in the energy. Let's look at BP. I don't know if the same BP or not. Yeah. They just are not. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's the same one. BPLPC. I'm not sure if this one is there or not. Yeah, it says it is. So they're not doing well there. So it could be, this is British Petroleum. So maybe just because of that part of the world that they're in, that they could have, a lot of exposure and a lot of risk as it relates to the crisis. Let's look at, see Standard Oil. I can't spell this morning. Just look at oil in general. So, yep. So you can see oil's done well. This is an ETF for the oil sector. So they've done well off of this news. And you can see it's a company here by larger volume. So if you look here on this volume, since that this volume was not that much, but you can see this increase in volume here. As it relates to, you go back to the February 24th, and you can see that we got this uptrend that corresponds there. So yeah, so oil's definitely doing well, and that part of it makes sense because there's a lot of oil reserves that are going, oil reserves as well as distribution out of Russia to a lot of different companies. So as the U.S. puts sanctions on and on their economies, they may not be able to, sell oil to a bunch of their distributors the way that they had been, because typically oil is dominated in what they call petrodollars or U.S. dollars. And so with those sanctions, that can affect theirs. So definitely these other oil producers should benefit from that. And I think that's what we're seeing here. Let me see. Let's look at copper. So let's look at some of the other commodities. What is that? FCX is a Freeport-McMoRan is a copper company. Let's see how they're doing. Yeah, so you can see here commodities are going up. So copper is higher. So we got oil higher, copper up. Let's see, Apache. Yep. So they're going up. Let's look at cocoa got a little bounce. So, we can start looking at commodities, even grains, wheat, cash futures. Oh, yeah. So look at this. So wheat is going well. So that ADM, see how well Arthur Daniel Midland. Yeah. So another thing is you could have a play on here as well is like the manufacturer companies that deal with moving grains or moving commodities. So this is a big commercial farming company, ADM. If you look at Deere, see, is Deere doing well? John Deere. Yeah, look at this. John Deere probably would be the same for, what's the other one? Caterpillar. Yeah. So these are all commodity related plays. So yeah, so they're benefiting from this as well. So yeah, thanks for that, Milt. That was good in terms of looking at the energy and commodity space, and even some of the manufacturers that help either equipment wise or other for the commodities area. Let's see who we got on this morning. All right, let's see, Andre. Let's look at this FUBO. Was actually, you can see we hit this almost $6, almost a little bit below $6 on Friday, that February 23rd. Kind of rebounded from there, about 24 rebounded, but we got this down day yesterday and Thursday and Friday. So just got to continue to sell those cover calls in order just to get some of that premium. But one good thing about it, it looks like we've stabilized here. So hopefully this 625 is just an anomaly because of that news. But here we can stay in the $7 range and just go sideways. That'd be good.
It's just a long hold for me right now.
Yeah.
So I'll take those losses if I did anything here. So hey.
Okay. Yeah, got that. Let's see, I saw Vanessa. Let's look at your NVIDIA, Vanessa. NVIDIA. All So NVIDIA kind of got hit coming out of January, February, but you can see we're in the sideways action here. And, coming up to support right here at this 226. I know this 220 level, because I actually remember this. So if you go back, you can see this 220 level was an area that NVIDIA was back in September that was definitely some support. So this 210, 220 is really strong support for NVIDIA. So just be mindful of that. But I think it's, if we go into a full-fledged world war, things will be bad. But if this stays just localized, hopefully the news won't get any worse. So, but geopolitically, so we'll see what happens with that. Let's look at your photo and see what the water is doing in the midst of this crisis. Not bad. Off the highs of 60. So we kind of beat this thing down pretty good off of these highs. So that's from January 4th, to February 28th. So they just got caught in a market turn here. But you can see here, let's look at this. So broke through this first support here at this 54. Now we're down to 51. But if it gets to this 46, that'd definitely be real strong support. But we had decent support here at this 51. And let's see, let's look at global payments. See if they're trading in sympathy with the Visa and MasterCard, and they are. So they broke out kind of with Visa and MasterCard to the upside. You can see they topped out and went kind of sideways here. So all these payment companies have started to give it up again, back to the downside. So you can see here off of this February 10th, they've just been going down, but global payments is right here at this support point of 129. Let's see how far that goes back. So actually, this is interesting because this area right here, that's pandemic low. So we're getting to the pandemic lows. I don't know, it's pretty interesting. And you can see here that it was some resistance back in 2018. So this is interesting, very interesting area for global payments at this 128 area. And so you got 128, and then you got next level support below it at 117. And that 117 corresponds to the November numbers, December area when they rotated out. And then again, the pandemic lows in March of 2020. So, interesting there. Let's look at PayPal in conjunction with that. PayPal getting killed. Okay, so PayPal came out with earnings February 2nd, and they dropped pretty hard from 170 to 139, and then it's lost another 30% down to they're below 100 now. So PayPal is really getting killed. So I would expect it. Now, what's odd about this is that Square actually came out with earnings around that same time. They had good earnings. They popped up, but you can see that they've given up some of this as well, going back on Square. So, where they had good earnings and they kind of stabilized, and kind of the opposite picture here of the PayPal, where PayPal had bad earnings and just continued lower. Square had good earnings and kind of stabilized. So you can see here. So there's a difference there, and they're both in the digital payment space. So, so that's interesting. Let's see who else we have. Oh, let's go to. Let's look at his Wingstop. You think your Wingstop is holding in good in terms of 140 area, a little bit below it, this 130, but you see we got support here. Now, question for we're going through looking at, some of you all's holdings. Are any of you buying anything? I know I asked this question a week or so ago or 2 weeks ago as well. And I know a lot of people were staying put. But is that still the case, or are you all starting to add a little bit to your positions in terms of some of the holdings that you have? That's not rhetorical.
I added a little Dollar General about a week ago.
Good. Oh yeah, you should be doing good. We looked at that one earlier.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Oh yeah, you added that right at the right time, D. Oh no, that was a good play. Yeah, especially if it was sometime last week. Yeah. You'd call a good bit of this move to the upside. Yeah, it was a good call. Good call. Yeah. Are you adding anything, changing anything in your portfolio?
The only thing I did, I just bought a little Ford on Friday. All the auto companies, except for Tesla, are having a chip shortage still. But I'm looking for that to, hopefully by the end of the year, that will be over with, but we'll see. But even more so than that is that split they're going to have. I want some 4D.
They announced a split. I didn't know that. What's the, go ahead.
They're going to split their old ICE and then their new electric. So they're going to be a little baby Tesla and an old dinosaur.
Okay, so the combustion and the electric are going into two different companies.
Yes. So I decided to buy some of that down here, even though I hate General Motors and I don't like Ford. But I think that's going to bode well for them.
All right. Let's see some of the even the foreign automakers are getting hit, and this could be. I don't know if this is similar to what's going on with Boeing. If they got part of the supply chain that will be disrupted as well. But you can see here, Honda is getting dropped. That's what it's about $6, $4. It's a decent move to the downside on Honda. Yeah, you're talking 12% in what? 2 weeks? Yeah, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Yeah, that's a big move down for Honda. Let me chart this real quick. Speaking of charting, are you all still maintaining your watch list and doing your charting for your holdings?
Yeah. Mike, I wanted to mention the only thing I did change, I did buy MRO, that was Marathon Oil. You kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, so I just wanted to bring that in.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Vanessa. Yeah, that's actually, kind of what we were talking about, that energy play. Yeah, that's a definitely great trade. Great trade here. Now, let me ask you, is that a trade or is that a long-term holdings for you?
That's a long term for right now.
Okay. Got it. Hold on. That's a good move. So yeah, they've been doing well off of these December lows. So yeah, that's good. And even when you see we pulled back on February 24th, where everything got hit, they even rebounded from there and continued to ascend higher. So this is February 24th here. So that, again, anytime I say February 24th, just know that I think that's the day that Putin went into Ukraine. So everything was down. Yeah.
I just got in it this week, so I missed all of the uptrend stuff.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Well, no, hopefully it continues. Let's look at it. Hadn't looked at this one. Let's look at Microsoft. So you can see Microsoft here. Going back to this area. So again, this is this we just talked about. You can see this corresponded to that downtrend we got back in early January, and then this is strange here because in October, I don't know what happened with Microsoft where we got this downtrend in October, but it didn't hold, and then actually ran in October. So this was, I guess they, as the market shifted out of the growth stuff into more of the value, Microsoft benefited hugely from, and you know what, and that's a little bit before that. So I'm not sure what this run from October to November was, but this is where the let me do it. This is where some of that rotation started for the small caps, and they weathered it decently well, and then till they start selling everything at the end of December. So this is just where the all indexes, S&P, the Dow, NASDAQ, and the Russell all just got killed. So this was the first move lower. You can see, so we had a touch to the bottom in January and then revisited again in February. And so these are definitely going to be two dates that if they hold and even in this, so let me go back to the index. So let's look at the S&P as a thing. So you go back, so same date, January 24th, February 24th. Those two are going to hold, or are going to serve as, I won't even say hold, but they're definitely going to serve as lines in the sand for this market. If we break below and go below these two on these indices or even some of the individual charts, it could spell trouble much lower, because now we have to go back here all the way to June of last year to get to that level. And then the next level below that is this 4065 on the S&P. And from where we are now, that's a significant move lower. So we had to go down to there, be another 6% down. And 6% on the index is probably maybe a factor of 2 or more on individual stocks, so maybe 12% or so. But definitely will have an impact. So this holding is 43 on the, and I think we had mentioned that a couple months ago. This 43 area is huge for the S&P, and that's pretty much where we were yesterday. It's 43.28. So the market kind of fought, been fighting kind of hard in this area. And let me do it. You do the SPX. I think I got all that stuff on the chart. SPY. So you can see here, that one's worse. Look at the ES. Okay. These are all the same charts. It's just that they're just different ways of looking at them. So a couple is an index, and this is the future, but they're still for the S&P 500. And what I wanted to see here is just that when we talk about this 42, 48. So the number's just a little bit off here, but this 42, 48, 4,300. This is, again, when we check our 2 dates, January 24th and February 24th, right? So you can see here, this corresponds back to that October area. Again, this July of last year. And then this, you can see here, this where it got up to the line and couldn't hold that, and it was resistant. So when you're on the chart when you're coming up to a line and you touch it and you retreat from it, you touch it again and retreat from it, that's resistance when you're coming from the bottom side. When you get above it and you go higher and then you come back down and touch it, then that's support. So you can see that line has a lot of strength to it. So if I kind of circle all of this as an area, you can see that this is very, very important to hold, because if we break below the bottom of this, now we're talking going so that this could possibly be the first point at 41.28, or what I measured earlier is this 40.39. So that's why this band is really important for us to hold. So we'll see what happens there. Let's see, Barry, are you buying anything? Okay, it was dropped off. So yeah, Barry. All right, Dre, did you want to get anything else other than Fubo, or are you just holding tight on that, or are you gonna want to look to buy something else? All right. Yeah, Dre must have dropped off. Okay. Any other questions? Anything financial, personal finance, debt related? Anything?
What about the cryptocurrency? How is all of this affecting cryptocurrency?
Great question, Vanessa. Crypto has been, if the stock market is a human, crypto has been acting like a dog, and the stock market has been walking the dog. So if you look at that S&P chart, even though this is a different chart from Bitcoin, go back to November, go to January 25th, February 24th, same chart. So what the stock market has been leading crypto lower. And even and so that's the broader thing. You can see even as of yesterday. So earlier this week, we had Monday, Tuesday up. Then you got Wednesday, Thursday. You got a little bit of buoyancy today because crypto trades, 7 days a week. So today got a little hole here. But yeah, so the same level at this, probably this 37 here for Bitcoin is need that to hold. If not, we're going back to lows that touch all the way back to January here of that 32. So it's actually right now. And actually, I'll take that back. This is the February 20, I said January 20, 24th, 26th, somewhere around there. And then this is February 1. So we need to hold this 3,300 on Bitcoin. If not, we could retest. And this is a major area here, Bitcoin at right under 29, a little bit right under 30,000, 29,000, 30,000. That is a major area. So if we break below this here, then we got to go back. And the next support area is right here at 24. So first line in the sand is 32, second line is 28, and the third area support is 23. And hope we don't go that far. But I think as the stock market does, crypto is going to do, because they seem to have been in tandem with the stock market leading and crypto following. And when you think about it is, I think for people, they just have, whatever funds they have, even though they may have it in different buckets, it's still, just their overall portfolio, their overall, wealth. And so if stock market is going down and they got gains in crypto, my assumption is they possibly were selling things in crypto to account for some of their stock market losses. So again, crypto has been following the market. And so if these can ever become detached, crypto from the stock market, then they may trade on their own rhythm. But as of now, they're linked together, and I think the stock market is leading. But by the same token, some of these things are down pretty good. Whereas, it could possibly be some bargains if you feel that once we get beyond this, the world kind of stabilizes and we get these interest rates, first ones, baked in, and then just kind of see how things play out, for the spring and the summer. So, but definitely there are some, just like in the stock market, there are things on sale in crypto. And
do a month chart on Bitcoin?
Yes, sir. It's a monthly chart going back to 2018.
Oh, sorry.
You want me?
I misspoke. I mean, just for a month, 30 days.
Oh, just 30 days. Okay. There you go.
Okay. One trade I have been doing on there, I've been successful 3 times in a row. Maybe I shouldn't say that because now I may mess it up. But I look for Bitcoin, like right now to me, it looks like it's in the buying range. Not to buy Bitcoin, but buy one of these top 200 coins. Because when Bitcoin stabilized from going down and start going up, one of these coins tend to pop a lot. And it's trying to figure out which one is going to do it. Right now, I'm looking at XRP. That may be the one that popped. Last time it was Luna, and I made quite a bit off that one.
Yeah, Luna. I would tell you, I don't know how much you know about Luna, just in terms of its kind of fundamental thesis. I think Luna is probably one of the best cryptos out there of all, and they have real utility. So Luna, Luna's two things. So Luna is the underlying token for the Terra network. And but they also have a stable coin called UST. And what they do is, like, in different parts of the world where you have fiat, they have a stable coin equivalent. So for the US is the UST, for the Korean won is the KRW. I think for the British pound, I think they got a GBT. And so this currency is denominated. So if I wanted to send something to somebody in Korea, I can send UST and it'll get translated into KRW. And so they're doing big business in the in the stablecoin space. Yeah. So you can see here. So this is Luna, right? They're and this is their stable coin called UST. Now, also, they have a bunch of different applications within their ecosystem. And one specifically is think of it as almost like a PayPal or Square for the Korean community. So if we go to ecosystem or apps, so it's this payments thing here called Chai Finance, right? And let me see if I can get the translation. All right. So they have this app here in Korea, and I think they said they got like either 10,000 merchants, 15,000 merchants. They got a huge number of merchants that use this system every day. And so why that's important is because Luna is, again, the underlying token, but their stable coin is backed based on the value of Luna. And so where the stable coin pegs, it's not pegged to a US dollar, but it's pegged based on the values in Luna that tries to stabilize it to a dollar, but it doesn't use a dollar as the underlying currency. And so because of that, anything that that trades in Luna, it benefits UST. And then if they're being used in UST, it helps support the Luna system. So it's kind of symbiotic support one for another. And then this Chai network here is just one of their apps. It's a pretty significant app within their ecosystem that you can that they use over there. And with that, they consume a lot of UST and a lot of Terra. And so the feedback or the demand side of this for the Terra and UST is large. So that's one thing. The other thing is when you look at some of these other stable coins here. So if you look at the top, so this is a CoinGecko.com. So if you want to look at things related to cryptocurrency, this is probably one of the better ones. Another one is CoinMarketCap.com, and they're pretty similar. But at any rate, this lists the largest cryptocurrencies by market cap. You can use other filters, but this is just the one that's listed at now. So you can see Bitcoin is the largest, Ethereum is second. But here at number 3, this is a Tether. Tether is a stable coin, right? So that's the largest stable coin by volume and market cap. The next largest stable coin is USDC, 52 billion, right, in market cap. Right. And then you have the next stable coin is Binance at 17 billion. And then the next one is UST at and so one of the things around the Terra, which is different from USDC and USDT. USDT is I think Bitfinex is the company that's responsible for this. So this is a centralized stable coin. And USDC is from a company called Circle. And so it's actually a US based company as well. And so this is centralized, whereas Binance is derived based on the Binance chain. And then Terra is decentralized based on that. So these two here, 14 and 12, are more decentralized than these other two here at number 3 and number 5. But these two has had an advantage because they started earlier and they've gained a lot of market share. However, one of the knocks on Tether is that they've done some audits, and their claim was they backed every Terra with $1. But when there's been audits of their books, that's actually not true. So they're doing some forms of fractional reserve banking here. And so even though they have a lot of market share and a lot of usage, they're doing some funky, banking, Federal Reserve crap that a lot of people are upset about. So that's giving rise to some of these other ones. And Terra is a newer player because it's only been around for a few years, Terra and Luna. And so they're trying to make some inroads into that. And so they're up, like I say, to 13 billion. And then with their ecosystem of apps that they use, they're definitely making headway. And again, each of these applications, they try to use the UST or the Luna for that, and that gives demand for the entire ecosystem. And since we're here, I'll just show you this. So this is one of their staking areas for protocols. What they do is they pay out. They're paying out 19% APY for staking your UST in this protocol. So for those that like compound interest, may want to dip your toe and give it a try if that's something you're interested in. I've gotten some in here just trying it out just to see if it bears fruit, and it's been working so far. So it's just a little bit of background on the Terra and UST. Any other crypto questions while we're over here? show you one last thing before we depart. So I don't know how many of you all are using your trading view. So a buddy of mine that I was in service with, we recently started doing some trading and stuff together, and he told me about this script here. It's called the Tux Scalper thing. And what it does is, and I'm just trying it out, so it's not a recommendation, but it's just more information. But I'm trying it to see how viable it is. So this is this Luna chart overlaid with this trend. So what it does, it gives you buy and sell signals here for whatever instrument that you have up on the chart, and it uses a combination of moving averages, looks like some Bollinger Bands, so some technicals to be able to determine buy and sell prices. So you can see here it said sell Luna at 91, buy it back at 82, sell it at 86, and that's just been in the last couple of days, right? So if I go out, let's go to a daily on that. And you can see here, buy signals and sell signals, right? So we actually in a buy on a daily from the 43 back in, well, actually the 50 back in February 22nd. And we know that's close to our February 24th date. And then Luna has just been on a run since then. So we haven't gotten a sell signal on a daily yet. And so it's been as high as 97, but we're back down because yesterday and Friday and Thursday and Friday, got a pull back from the 90s to 83. So I'm just looking at this scalper, and I'm gonna start trying to use it on a daily for my longer term stuff, and then maybe a shorter time frame for some of the shorter things. So I'm gonna test it out, so I'll be able to report back to you all if I'm having any success with it or not. But just wanted to let you know that that's available. And if you want to figure out how to add it to your chart, if you go out to click here where it says metrics, indexes, and strategies, you type in Tux TUX. So it's a couple one out here. So the one you want is the TUX EAMA Scalper Super Trend. And give it a try. And you can overlay it so it works with crypto. So whatever instrument you put here. So let's say I'll go back to the SPY, which is S&P 500. Get an overlay on that as well, right? I got a bunch of other stuff on this chart, so it's kind of busy. But you can buy and sell signals. For the Tesla. Grab the wrong one. Yep. So Tesla, so you can see buy and sell signals here as well. So just something to take a look at if you're interested.
You do XRP and also DOT.
XRP. Let's take the Binance one. I'm sorry, what was the question, Milt?
I just want to take a look at XRP and DOT on that script and see what it says for those two.
Oh, for the scanner?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. You got a buy point on XRP right now. Had a sell at the 78, had a buy at the 70, somewhere in the low 70, 71, 72 on that one. And then DOT. Currently in a sale from the 18, hadn't gotten a buy signal yet, going up. So. And if we go out a bit, you can see you had several sales, on this way down. So on this downtrend. And so let's hide it. Let's just chart this real quick. So we take that. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hold on. That was the market cap. I didn't want market cap. I wanted actually. I guess it's the same chart. So we just chart this. Take this right here. All right, so you can see that we get multi-levels coming off of these lows, broke down through about 4 support areas, kind of went sideways here in this range until it broke below from here to here, and it started this downtrend, then stabilized again, kind of in this range. That's kind of where we are today. So if you take that, and now if we throw that, so let me do that. So you put the scanner back on top. So you can see kind of in it. So you can see the scanner, it kind of traded that range. So you see the scanner kind of traded this range here. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. So it corresponds to the support areas for this. And I mean, I didn't know that it would have done that, but it kind of, so there's a second kind of level of confirmation for those ranges and those support. And you just saw me draw the support real time. So yeah, so it's interesting, and just maybe another tool in the toolbox that you may want to use. Right. Any other parting shots before we leave? All right. I do have one question for everyone. And who have you been teaching this stuff to? And if it's nobody is a valid answer, but have you all been teaching this to anyone, what you've learned? That's not rhetorical. That's a question that requires an answer.
Nobody with me.
All right, nobody for D. Andre. Great. Okay, you may have stepped away. Milk.
I just walked back in. I just got on the phone. What was the question?
I was saying, have you been teaching any of this stuff you've learned about stocks and charting and any of this to anybody? Any of your buddies? Or family members?
No, man, it's just hard. It's a hard road to hoe, man.
Okay, got it. All right, Milk.
You can try it, but
go ahead.
I try, but hey, most people I bring in, they stay one session and they out.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I pass it on as much as I can. I just put it like that.
Well, no, but not just passing it on. Are you teaching anybody what you know?
Right. That's why I say the attention span is not there.
Okay, got it.
Remember when we first started this? Mm-hmm. Your favorite word was, "This is not a get rich scheme."
Yeah.
Most of my friends want to get rid quick. I was like, dude, wrong out.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I needed to laugh this morning. That's good. All right, Milk.
It's sort of like the same way. People have these weird ideas, like on the stock market, and it's sort of like it's so hard to change that. One example is Dogecoin. One of the guys I work with is in there. He did not get out when the rest of us got out because he said he wanted to double his money. Like it was guaranteed to him. Yeah, Doge.
What, Dogecoin? Yeah,
Dogecoin. That Saturday night thing, that Saturday night.
That was peak. That was peak Doge. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we got out. His best buddy got out, but he didn't get out because he didn't double his money. So that's the type of thing I run into. People have this weird idea that their will alone will make their stock or whatever go up, and they just won't sell. So it's hard to say anything to these people.
All right, thank you. Who's left? Who is left in our thing? Oh, Vanessa.
Well, I mean, both of my daughters are dabbling in it.
Okay.
I would say I'll go as call this my future son-in-law. He's really into it, but he's kind of helping us a little bit. But I have like, matter of fact, one of my daughters is here now, and I told her, I say, hey, if you want to come listen in, you can. But she's downstairs with the kids, so
okay.
I let people know, but the thing is, I felt like I needed to ask your permission first. I just, I kind of figured you don't want to have just a bunch of strange people on your call all of a sudden. So.
Oh no. You can send it out to whoever.
Okay.
They show up. Let them show up. They just introduce themselves. But no, this is an open group. This is for anybody, and we're not, race, creed.
Yeah, I understand. Okay.
I want our people to know.
Yes.
But if others come in, and we just here to share it, because it's crazy because money affects us all. It's just like we all go to school, we figure out we learn a trade, we get good in terms of how to make money, how to make a living. But a lot of this stuff around how do you manage what you make, and how to make it work for you, in addition to you exchanging your dollars for hours, or on these jobs. That's the piece that we really want to get people educated in, and even if they don't use it, just say, hey, have you heard of it? Are you aware of it? That this opportunity exists. And if they say, well, yeah, fine, I got it, but it's not for me, that's fine. There's still some value there. It's the ones that this whole world is happening around them, and they're not even aware. Because if you're not aware, you can't participate, right? So once you're aware, then you can make the determination if it's something that you want to try or not. And so that's kind of like my main thing. First is the awareness, and then second, and then particularly this kind of goes back to our community specifically, is that, it seems like we have had just throughout the years so many money problems, and a lot of it is kind of back around to what Milton was just explaining. It has more to do with mindset than it has to do with, the problem itself. Most of us, God has given us the ability to, make, money to be able to take care of ourselves. There's some that don't make enough. I understand that, but I don't think that's the majority of the people's problem. It's how they allocate what they make and what they do with it. So we just want to, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was going to say one of the things too. I mean, one of my issues was the fact that because I didn't understand it, I was afraid of it,
Mm-hmm.
And so it took me a long time before I even considered trying to get involved in the stock market, because I didn't understand it. But then I had to kind of make myself, I'm like, listen, I'm missing out on some stuff, and I need to at least get some education so I understand what is it that I'm missing and how I can be a part of the game. So that's the reason why I'm here.
Yeah. No, and thank you for that. I appreciate your transparency on that. And that's huge, because if you think about it, a lot of times we have this notion around fear of all kinds of things. We just happen to be talking about money today, but it could be a variety of different subject matters in our lives. And if we allow that fear to kind of persist, like you say, there are things that are happening that we can't participate in. But kind of when you get somebody and because you can get it a lot of different ways. This is just one of many, right? You can be a self-studier, you can go to seminars, you can read books. There's a lot of different ways to get this stuff. And one thing I will say to you all, if you all have any young people that, in your lives, some grandkids, some cousins, some nieces, some children, teach them some of this stuff. And kind of what we're doing is a little bit advanced, maybe for them, depending upon what their age is, but start just showing them stuff and give them some of the basics around money, around budgeting and stuff. And I can send you all kind of like a small presentation just in terms of like getting some like the fundamentals of money and like the different tiers. I call it like a pyramid. Just to be able to, because again, I think when we don't know stuff, we start to develop notions about things. And, you know, in some of those things, it seems like magic or it seems complicated. If we don't have a general interest in just whatever your personality is, you may not, you know, jump into it, and you'll have that thing out there that you don't embrace, but it's an essential part of everything you do. So I always tell the story like this. If you think about kids, like, you know, think about each of us. What was one of our first memories about money? The one I can think of is like being in the grocery store with your parents or whatever, and you wanted some candy or you wanted some chips or you know, pop or something, right? So you ask for some, and you know, they give you a coin, and you take that coin, you go up to the counter, or you throw your thing on it, and your parents reach in their pocket and they get some and they pay for it, right? So, you know, that's kind of how some of our first recollections of money in our age group. Whereas, you know, this newer age group, I think I heard my niece and nephew talking about, yeah, mommy and daddy just pull up to the bank and they reach out a card, they put it in the machine and it spits money out. That's how you get money. And so it's just, you know, different from, you know, when we were dealing with physical coins and dollars, you know, in our generation. But again, that's how, you know, you kind of get your early lessons about it. And then as you know, learn more and you get a paycheck and you start paying taxes and you got these bills, you know, you know how to make money and you know how to distribute it on some things. But then you don't think about, you know, one of the things is, I got a couple, I'm going to share this. I don't know if I shared this with you all or not, but I definitely tell you to watch these two videos. I'm going to put the link in the chat. But this guy does a great job of explaining where money comes from. It's really crazy in terms of when you think about, because I never really thought much about like, because even so we're learning, we're talking about stocks and stuff like that, right? And you say, okay, yeah, I understand this, understand stocks, I understand, you know, bonds or whatever, but still having a perspective of understanding where money comes from, how it's made, and all of that. Money is not a natural, like, God construct, right? Money is a man-made construct. But we just kind of accept it as being an absolute, but it was designed by men and it's a system. And when you kind of understand, so this is one video here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. Yeah, and then I'm gonna paste the other one in as well. So, all right, that's one, and let me get the other one. And what these videos go to show, it gives you a perspective about, you know, where money comes from, what's the system, you know, in which it was created, how we fit into it. It's crazy. So hold on, I clicked on the wrong thing. Let me share. And then I'll share a third one about basically how the economy works. And these are three really good fundamental videos to give you an understanding about this system that we participate in every day, and not really understanding how it was structured or created. Let me get this last one here. Yeah. And definitely, share this with your kids, share it with your friends, your loved ones. And, and some of them, if they watch it, they watch it. If they don't, okay, fine. But, you just put the information out there and what people do with it, they do with it. Yeah. So I put those 3 videos in. So somebody remind me next week when we meet again, if you all can kind of put it on your calendar to watch them. Just take some time. I think they're maybe 15, 20 minutes a piece. So less than an hour. and if you would just take some notes around what you've learned out of watching these three, and then we'll have a discussion on it, and we'll go from there, because I think it's going to really spur some good conversation and help us, kind of just get some context to kind of how this whole thing works, and then what's our place in it, and how these things have been affecting us that we may or may not have been aware of. So if you all would do that for me now, I really appreciate that. And I would say share them too, because there's some really good information in them, and it can, again, affect how you do things, or at least make you, do the old Arsenio Hall, make you say, haven't thought about that before. So, all right. With that, do we got any other comments before we depart? Thank you for the questions. It was really good. I appreciate it.